So what is the benefit of things like yoga, riders in recovery, doing the 40 days, getting involved in golf, softball, like the extracurricular stuff? And there's like a lot of different answers to that. And but I would just say that one of the main benefits of getting involved in things like that is that it plugs you into a community, like another community that is just full of super winners and full of support and healthy individuals and healthy activities for you and your kid to be involved with and engaged with. And it's not just like coming to yoga or coming to a bike ride or joining us for softball. Like, we really set it up to where those things have to be earned. Like, you have to earn your spot in yoga. You can lose it, and you have to earn your spot in softball. You know, some of your kids in here have lost that like privilege to be able to play for, you know, a period of time. And that's really important, because one of the key things that is like centered around everything that we do is around their self-esteem. Because when we've got pretty good self-esteem, we're less prone to make self-destructive decisions or act out in self-destructive behavior. And so when we're earning privileges like a phone, a car, a laptop, participating in yoga or riders or softball or things like that, when we're earning it, that's really good for our self-esteem and also our character development. When we get things that we're not really earning or we're not really deserving, well, that lowers the bar, and that's damaging for our self-esteem and creates entitlement. That's where entitlement comes from. When we get things that we don't really deserve or we haven't really earned, but we feel like we deserve it, we feel like we're entitled to it, that's where that behavior is taught. And so that's really the key difference there. It's not just coming to these events, but it's actually earning your spot at these events. You know, writing us an essay for how you're going to show up at the yoga studio and how you're going to help us to protect that relationship with Big Yoga. You know, showing up prepared, hydrated, eaten that day with your mat, water, towel, you know, and these behaviors translate into other areas of their lives. And how you see them show up at yoga or prepared or not prepared for a bike ride or so on and so forth is indicative of how they're taking care of themselves in other areas of their recovery. So it all like really ties in together quite beautifully. And that doesn't even talk about the physical benefits or the physical aspect of getting involved in those activities, which, you know, we could talk a lot about that as well. So I know all of you guys have participated a bunch in all of these activities. Tim is like a softball legend at this point. broke his wrist sliding into third. And I was standing right there. I watched it happen. But we're also like 7 or 8 time champions at this point too. So that's pretty cool. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, we are softball champions.
We are?
Like 8 times.
Yeah, the benefit, man. I am such a strong believer, and almost all these programs are very physical programs, but I'm a super strong believer that your physical recovery and physical health is almost equally as important as, you know, your sober recovery, and it has like direct correlations to you getting better mentally. And so these programs, like getting into yoga and having it be a thing of like you have to earn it, right? Like it's withheld from you until you're able to get there, makes it so when you are there, you have a community of people who have also earned it. And it's not just people are like, oh, I don't really want to do it. You know, you get people who are excited to be there, who are strong, or, you know, just good people all together. So these communities like softball, like Rise and Recovery, like yoga, you get a lot of like-minded people who are there for a purpose, to get better, to build a community, to share recovery. And I still am like pretty involved in, well, I mean, not as much anymore just because life happens, but you know, I have my own stuff outside of this. I do recovery program where I volunteer for rock climbing. And that's been like the greatest thing since leaving Cornerstone for me. It's like being super involved in that and getting physical, sharing my recovery with people, taking them out. So, you know, it starts off as when you first get there, just like being surrounded by all these really cool people that you see them say yes to all this stuff and makes you want to do that. And then eventually you can be the person that they're looking up to. Like, man, I want to get like that guy. Like he's so happy to be here. He's like, you know, strong. He's freaking pumped. I like what he has. I want that. And so being able to be that person in return, you know, down the line, super duper cool. So yeah, I'm a huge supporter of everything. Yoga, rise and recovery, TP, softball, all that stuff. It's played a massive role in my recovery and many others.
Cool, great answer, dude. And these two participate in yoga pretty much every Tuesday. So.
Yeah. Is it still recording, Nancy?
Mhm.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Yeah, so I would just add, I mean, there's not much I could add, is just that, you know, we all know this, we heal in community, and this is a serious situation and a serious disease, and we got to get serious about our behaviors and how we respond to our loved ones and each other and to ourselves. So coming to the activities, you get to have fun, which is healing, and you get to exercise, and I'm a big proponent of that. That was what I did for my career prior to having my nonprofit, and exercise is very healing, and it will improve your recovery. I am a huge proponent of the hot yoga that Cornerstone does. For me personally, it's been life savings, and when I miss a week, I suffer. I do deal with emotional pain still, like we all do, and I have really strong physical pain with neuropathy and my finger that goes up my arm, and when I miss a week of hot yoga, my pain is so much worse. So I really look forward to the hot yoga every week, and I'm always trying to talk myself out of going, but I'm so grateful when I get there. And then I get to bond with everybody with the sweaty hugs. That's a very important part of the Cornerstone culture, because once you can give everybody hugs when they're hot and sweaty, then you know you're bonded to them for life. It's and these connections, right? The opposite of addiction is connection. So that's what the activities do. You heal, you grow, and putting yourselves in those uncomfortable situations is when we do grow. So that's life, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And what was going through my head was the opposite of addiction is connection. So I'm glad you said that. No, I'm glad you said that. So just answer it quickly, similarly, just really just bringing it down to what I've learned to be truths. And I don't make many like absolutes, but I promise you these are truths. The opposite of addiction is connection. I learned that through Joe in the early days of walking through these doors. The other is we're doing things not because we want to do them, because we need to do them. And I learned that from Kirk, that fortunately we are part of a group where we don't have to feel like doing something to do it. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's like all of these things are to get us out of our own head, right? That doesn't matter. What matters is being around others and not consuming ourselves with us, because it's us that got us here. So, you know, I can go really deep in this subject, but the bottom line is there's a method here, and it's not about what we're doing. It's about why we're doing it. And that's, you know, another thing that Joe asks, if you tell me what you're doing, I'll tell you how you're doing. Just tell me what you're doing, I'll tell you how you're doing, right? And so it's when we talk about these things, okay, I know how you're doing if you're talking about these things. You're doing well.